Hey to everyone out there watching, it's JT from Keystone Crew Outdoors. Welcome back to Keystone Crew's Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing Pick Show. As always, thank you for tuning in and your continued support of the channel. We're here to give you our advice on who to pick for your Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing lineups, your Falcon rods, Bassmaster Drain the Lake Challenge lineups, and your TH Marine Bassmaster Pickham Challenge for the Sabine River in Orange, Texas from May 15th through the 18th, 2025. We'll also take a look at how our picks fared at the last event at Lake Fork, since it's a quick turnaround, back-to-back. We want to get that in there as well. And then check our leaderboards too. Chances are, if you're watching this, you're already playing fantasy fishing, are part of our group, and are hopefully a subscriber. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I'd appreciate it if you did, especially if you like the content or use the advice that we give in our pick videos. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in, supporting the channel, and coming back for our advice. We had another event where we ranked anglers who did really, really well, but I didn't necessarily pick them because they weren't my top-ranked guy. It's the story of my season here. Next year, I think I'm going to rank them and just pick one of the top 5 instead of always going with our top-ranked angler based on the research. If you stumbled onto our channel and have no idea what fantasy fishing is, but want to check it out, head on over to bassmasterfantasy.com and sign up. It's completely free, and you'll be eligible for prizes from Bassmaster and their sponsors for each tournament. After signing up, search in the Groups tab for Keystone Crew and join our group. By signing up for the group, you'll be eligible for prizes if you live in the lower 48 states from us. To keep things fair, I did put a password on the group. The password is Crew25, all lowercase letters. Also, for anyone new, you can watch these events every Saturday and Sunday on Fox Sports 1 and certain events on the Roku channel as well. Before we jump into the picks for the Sabine River, I want to recap how our picks did at Lake Fork and look at our leaderboards. If you had a perfect roster, this is what it looked like. You had Trey McKinney finishing 3rd, Brian New 14th, JT Tompkins 5th, Brad Watley 19th, and Greg Hackney 11th. Here's how our Bucket A power rankings finished. Our top-ranked angler, Lee Livesey, choked on his home lake in back-to-back years, finishing 90th. Just terrible for our Bucket A. Patrick Walters finished 12th, Jay Przekurat 9th, Trey McKinney 3rd, and Seth Fighter 10th. Really wish I picked anyone from this bucket other than Livesey here, but you had to go with the favorite. In Bucket B, our power rankings finished like this. We had Brandon Palnick 23rd, Drew Benton 27th, Kyle Patrick 36th, Kyle Welcher 73rd, and Jacob Fouts 55th. In Bucket C, we had Easton Fothergill finish 8th, Tyler Williams 6th, Keith Combs 68th, Tyler Rivette 28th, and Cooper Gallant 30th. In Bucket D, our top-ranked angler, Ben Milliken, finished 84th, Brandon Cobb 31st, Dakota Eber 75th, Matty Wong 79th, and Stetson Blaylock an uncharacteristic 100th place finish. And finally, in Bucket E, we had Chris Zaldane finish 49th, Caleb Sumrall finished 16th, Jeff Gustafson 95th, Greg Hackney 11th, and Chad Pipkins in 89th place. Even with all of our top-ranked anglers from our research picks, you had a rough one with Lee Livesey with that 90th, Palnick 23rd, Fothergill 8th, kind of saved the day. Ben Milliken finished 84th, and Chris Zaldane 49th. Palnick wasn't that bad either. 23rd is respectable. And here's how our Drain the Lake finished up. We had Easton Fothergill and Koya Fujita finish in the top 10. Palnick and Rivette finished 23rd and 28th. And the rest of our guys were all, above 60th. So we'll take 4 in the top 30, though. Our TH Marine Pickham finished like this. Our meter right now is sitting at 59.2%. Now that we looked at how we did, let's take a look at our leaderboards. First, our overall leaderboard for Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing Through 6 weeks, we've got T-Man, 1992, T. Lindstrom in first. 3 Big Bucks, Jay Glisson in second. Unroe, 1, 3, 4, 5, C. Unroe in third. Clayton Terry, C. Terry in fourth. And rounding out the top 5, Fish Stick 714, A. Berkey in fifth. If you use the top-ranked anglers in the Keystone Crew Power Rankings, you're sitting with an 80.2% meter right now, with tons of room to improve. Our top-ranked player in the Keystone Crew Fantasy Fishing Group for the 6th event at Lake Fork was 528 K. Hahn with a score of 1,263 for the event. Congratulations, you won our 6th prize of the season, a pack of X-Zone Finesse Series Stealth Minnows. Be on the lookout for an email from us so we can get that prize out to you. And through 6 weeks for Falcon Rods Drain the Lake Challenge. Here's what our overall leaderboard looks like there. We've got LA Rams Fishing Team, B. Johnson in first. Saluki Hawk 12, B. Hawk in second. CJ's dad, C. Edney in third. Kid Iraq, R. France in fourth. And rounding out the top 5, Scopin' and Dopin', S. Tarpley in fifth. If you use Keystone Crew Drain the Lake picks from the start of the season, you're sitting with a 99.5% meter, which is good for 131st out of everybody playing. We're doing much, much better in Drain the Lake Challenge than in fantasy fishing. I'm hoping we can maintain where we're at and not drop too much. It's really difficult when you're plus over 99%. We actually did, though, this last tournament, go up 1/10 of a point from last tournament. Our top-ranked player in the Keystone Crew Drain the Lake Challenge group for the 6th event at Lake Fork was Walker96, D. Walker, with a score of 1,987. Congratulations, you won our 6th prize of the season for Drain the Lake Challenge, a pack of X-Zone Finesse Series Stealth Minnows. Be on the lookout for an email from us so we can get that prize out to you. To see what prizes are up for grabs in our group, you can check out our kickoff video showing you what you could possibly win from us. I've got lures by Spro, X-Zone, Rapala, Strike King, and Berkeley. Most of the housekeeping stuff is out of the way, so now let's change gears to our next event. The 7th event of the season, 6th event for the elites, the Sabine River. And let's see what Katie picked for this week's prizes. Okay, let's see what we're playing for this week for this event at the Sabine River. Let's see what Katie's got in here. There's 4 prizes left. All right, it looks like we've got a Spro, a Ruku Shad, 6.5. This is what we're playing for this week, the Sabine River. This week we're playing for some Spro, a Ruku Shad, 65s. Now that we know what we're playing for at this event, let's jump into the 6th stop for the elites and 7th overall for fantasy fishing, the Sabine River in Orange, Texas, from May 15th through 18th, 2025. The Sabine River is a 360-mile-long river in the southern United States of Texas and Louisiana. It serves as a boundary between the two states and empties into the Sabine Lake, an estuary in the Gulf of Mexico. The Sabine River's Elite Series playing field stretches into bayous, rivers, and coastlines from the Louisiana border and along the coastline to Houston, a 110-mile one-way boat run. In 2021, Jason Christie won with 43 pounds 15 ounces, and he made a hike up the river. In the same tournament, Brock Mosley made a 110-mile trip to almost Houston. He must have figured something out because in 2023, he won there with 44 pounds 3 ounces. What stood out at the 2023 event were the wise decisions made by the top finishers to maximize fishing time by staying nearer the launch site and host city of Orange, Texas. The only other research I have was from back in 2018 when Greg Hackney won with 48 pounds 5 ounces. So I expect the weights to be somewhat low on this one, guys. All right, on to our research picks. Here's my research picks Once again, if you've been watching channel, I power rank picks from Bass Pundits, different articles I read, and videos that I watch. This year has been a little rough. I've managed to pick pretty well, but my rule for the channel is I pick my top ranked guys in each bucket. This year I've been picking guys with great finishes, but had them ranked in my 2 through 5 slots, so I haven't actually taken them. I feel like my meter could easily be in the 90s had I reordered the rankings a little bit differently, but that's how it goes, I guess. All right, in bucket A, we've got Przekurat, 15.8% owned. Bill Lowen, 4.3% owned. John Cox, 13.0% owned. Patrick Walters, 3.4% owned. And Lee Livesey with 7.9% owned. Crew's pick is Przekurat with that 15.8% owned. On to bucket B. We've got Brock Mosley with 29.9% owned, followed by Wesley Gore, 1.3% owned, Easton Fothergill, 29.5% owned, Wes Logan, 2.3% owned, and Brandon Lester with 3.8% owned. Crew's pick, though, is Brock Mosley with that 29.9% owned. In bucket C, we've got Jason Christie, 26.0% owned. Kyle Welcher, 27.2% owned. John Cruz, 2.6% owned. Bo Browning, 2.8% owned. And Hunter Shryock, 15.3% owned. Crew's pick, though, is Jason Christie with 26.0% owned. On to bucket D. In bucket D, we've got Caleb Sumrall, 22.1% owned, followed by Greg Hackney, 45.7% owned, Brandon Cobb, 4.9% owned, Logan Latuso, 3.2% owned, and Scott Canterbury, 1.1% owned. Crew's pick, though, is Caleb Sumrall, that 22.1% owned. In our final bucket, bucket E, we're going with Kenta Kimura, 6.3% owned, followed by Alex Wetherill, 6.6% owned, Blake Caps, 2.2% owned, Gerald Swindle with 18.1% owned, and last but not least, Mike Iaconelli, 4.9% owned. Crew's pick, though, is Kenta Kimura with that 6.3% owned. Tie-breaking weight, I think it's probably going to be in the 40s, but you never know if scoping comes into play or whatever is going to happen with this tournament. I feel like the weights have just been outrageous lately. This is still going to be a low tournament, but I'm going with 51 pounds, 2 ounces. Like I said, I think it could be in the high 40s, but I'm not ruling out going into the 50s, and when in doubt, I always go a little bit higher. So 51 pounds, 2 ounces. All right, a quick recap here of the Keystone Crew's picks. Bucket A, we've got Przekurat. Bucket B, Brock Mosley. Bucket C, Jason Christie. Bucket D, Caleb Sumrall. And Bucket E, Kenta Kimura. On to Falcon Rod's Drain the Lake Challenge. It's our other main fantasy game. Drain the Lake is an elimination style game. Can you only use an angler once all season? Once you use them, they're gone for the season. For me, it's getting a little bit harder to pick. There's guys I've saved, there's guys I've accidentally used, and it's just kind of all over the place right now for me. Maybe I'm feeling the pressure a little bit with that 99.5%. I don't know. But I'm going with David Gaston, Wesley Gore, Wes Logan, Brock Mosley, Brian New, Matt Robertson, Hunter Shryock, and Caleb Sumrall. Our last fantasy game is TH Marine Bassmaster Pickham Challenge. We're not awarding any prizes or anything. It's just something fun here. The picks have not been going great here for us either. but we're going to try to right that ship here. So matchup 1, previous Sabine River champs, Jason Christie versus Brock Mosley. I'm going Jason Christie. Matchup 2, top 2 and Angler of the Year, Jay Przekurat versus Will Davis Jr. Jay Przekurat. Matchup 3, aluminum rig wrangle, Bill Lowen versus John Cox. Going Bill Lowen. Matchup 4, Flipper's Delight, Greg Hackney versus Seth Fighter. Going Greg Hackney here. Matchup 5, roommate matchup, Paul Marks versus Tucker Smith. Paul Marks. Matchup 6, social media showdown, Ben Milliken versus Mike Iaconelli. Going Ike with Mike Iaconelli here. And matchup 7, looking for redemption, Lee Livesey versus Stetson Blaylock. I have to go with Lee Livesey here. I feel like he really choked on his lake, and he's going to look to, come back with a vengeance here. That'll wrap it up for our fantasy games for the 7th stop of the fantasy season, the Sabine River. Remember, you guys are playing for some Spro Aruku Shad 65s. Good luck to all you guys out there. I'll leave you guys with the Angler's career stats from before the 2025 season. As always, I'll catch you next time.